We are back with Candace Payne, aka the Chewbacca mom, who garnered the world's attention when she donned a Chewbacca mask and instantly became a Facebook sensation. So you've written this new book.
I have.
Laugh It Up,
I
Embrace Freedom, and Experience Defiant Joy. You talk about, a challenging childhood, but also joyful. You were essentially homeless. Your parents moved a lot. At one point, you lived out of your car. But you say that there were so many joyful moments in that time. Tell us about that.
I remember that was my real first introduction to joy. If joy were a person, I felt like I met her in every little tree hole that I would find or clearing to be able to skip stones in the woods and walks with my dog. There are always moments that I believe joy is hiding. I really believe that. I think sometimes the worst enemy to actually living a life full of joy is ourself. It's the way that we feel and think about the circumstances around us. And you know what? I believe there are many layers to joy. And some of the things that we most know about joy are what I like to call the itty bitties. They're those little happiness moments because they're things that happen to us that cause us happiness. But what I've also discovered is those moments only gratify. They very rarely satisfy. And real joy is that joy that we find that's hiding when we need her the most, around every corner, around every sadness and sorrow. And she's there with a hand to say, I'm here. How do we see this different? You know, a lot of people go through much worse than I've written about. And I think the thing that could be easily said is, but you've never experienced this. But you've never gone through this. And what I say to that is also, maybe I haven't because God knows I'm not strong enough to take it. Maybe instead of seeing it as though, woe is me, I never get a break, this always happens to me, I'm always on the receiving end of sorrow and heartache and misery. Maybe it's just the fact that God sees you as somebody remarkably strong. And when you think that way and you learn to accept life in that light, joy is right around the corner to say, all right, let's go.
You talk about God, who I believe is the joy giver. And you truly can't know joy without him. And you talk about your relationship with God throughout the book. Tell me about that and where that started, what the genesis of that relationship looked like and how it has evolved.
You know, you said joy comes from God. I think it's much deeper. It tells us very specifically it is a fruit of the Spirit. It is a byproduct of what the Holy Spirit does in and through our life. And I think Christians should be the most joyful people that we know. But
not always.
Are they?
Catch me at 5 o'clock in the morning. Ask me if I'm joyful.
You know, far too long we have been painted as bigots, judgmental, racist, narrow-minded. And I really believe that something new is happening. I do. I believe that the light of his countenance is changing upon us. And it is beginning to reveal a God that is the joy bringer, that is full of joy when he looks at us, that doesn't have judgment and hate in his eyes, but one that says, are you kidding me? From me comes joy. From me comes love. And as a matter of fact, he says, I am love. So I really feel as though my faith cannot be separated from my story. However, I did write the book for somebody that has never even owned a Bible. To not feel as though they needed theology or to be sneak attacked with the gospel. I mean, there is no hidden agenda in me, in this book, other than to show you that there is more to life than what you're living. And it's possible. I don't have the secret recipe just for me or an extra dose and measure given to my life, and I was just born that way. I wanted to let people know you can have it too, and it is a choice.
You know, what we saw in that video was this happy mom donning on a mask. And as I read your book and read about sexual abuse, I read about your attempts of suicide, weight issues. How did you find joy in those moments, or did you?
You know, I honestly believe that some people when you start thinking positively about your life and you make that choice, that first choice to say, I'm not going to allow my thoughts to govern my joy.
Yes.
Then with that, depression when it comes in, sorrow when it comes in, feels foreign. And so those were those moments where it felt so foreign to me that I was like, I have to root this out. And I think, on average, the opposite, by and large, is where our nation, our entire world is. I really feel most people wake up with a case of the Mondays every day of the week. They wake up feeling like, I can't adult today. I mean, we hear all the sentiments and we're like, girl, yes, I cannot adult. And we like, oh, I need that on a shirt. But the reality is that I think it's high time we flip the script and we know what chronic joy is and not chronic depression. That way when depression comes, we go, get that stuff out. And so when I face those things, it's remarkable. I honestly don't know other than the Holy Spirit working. I don't know how, but this is why I wrote the book, because it's possible that when whatever my lot, He's taught me to say it's well. It's well. This isn't my last day. It may be my worst day, but it's not my last.
And you could have said that before the sensation, before all the attention.
Oh,
you
yeah.
could say that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I could.
Well, the book is called Laugh It Up, Embrace Freedom and Experience Defiant Joy. It is a must get. I was sitting on a beach reading this book, I'm going to be honest, and I was laughing my pants off and also crying and just like, amening through it all. Wow. Thank you so much, Candace.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.